In order to understand Marxism, we must first understand its creator, Karl Marx, and the philosophies that were popular during his time. In the late 1800s, Hegel was one of the most famous philosophers in Europe. We don't have time to go over everything Hegel said, so I will leave a link in the description to another YouTube video for those interested. But to summarize, Marx believed strongly in Hegel's idea that history should be viewed in stages. Or to put it simply, Hegel's theory can be explained by saying that all of history can be seen as stages, with a thesis and an antithesis, which come together to create a synthesis. To drastically oversimplify this, you can look at the rising power of the merchants in the Middle Ages as the thesis, the old feudal world as the antithesis, and they came together to create a synthesis, which is capitalism. As just mentioned, this is an oversimplification, but this should give you an understanding of what we mean by saying stages of history. Understanding stages of history is important because Marx believed that socialism and communism weren't ideologies, but that they were inevitable future stages of history. In this, he also advocated for capitalism because he believed it was a necessary part of history. Marx then argued that socialism is an inevitable stage of history based on the 3 laws of Marxism proposed in his series of books called Das Kapital. These theoretical laws were as followed. 1. The law of disproportionality. This law claimed that supply and demand, the basis for all liberal economics, has and will fail the common man. It argued that supply and demand don't meet in any beneficial way to the average person, and that this leads to much more suffering than is necessary. The second law is the law of concentration of capital. In this law, Marx claimed that over time, more and more economic power will begin to be controlled by fewer and fewer men. Marx saw monopolies as an inevitable part of capitalism. Third law is the law of falling rate of profits. Marx argued that the rate of profit for all companies that sell non-essential goods will decrease over time, leading to them inevitably shutting down. Think of it like this. Once everyone owns a car, how could a car manufacturer stay in business? They will have no one left to sell their products to. This will inevitably lead to them shutting down and firing all their workers. Lenin, however, added a 4th law, which has been widely adopted by Marxists, but Marx himself had never openly agreed with. The 4th law was the law of uneven development. Lenin argued this law in order to explain the lack of evidence for the 3rd law among capitalist nations. He argued that the exploitation of empire could temporarily, but not indefinitely, put off the falling rate of profit. But again, Marx never openly agreed with this idea. Marx used these 3 laws to argue that capitalism's days were numbered and that socialism, followed by communism, was inevitably going to take root in already capitalist countries. The term capitalist countries is important in this assumption. Marx, to his dying day, never really believed in Russian or Chinese communism. Those were agrarian economies which had not yet adopted capitalism, which was a prerequisite for socialism. Marx believed that socialism would first take root in either Britain or Germany. As time went on, more and more liberal economists began reading Marx and started seeing that he had some points on some issues. However, they disagreed with Marx's idea that the end result to the issue would be socialism. Liberals, Keynes in particular, began to propose counter-solutions to each of Marx's laws. The law of the concentration of capital was the easiest of all the laws to argue against. Liberals proposed enacting antitrust laws to break up monopolies and prevent them from reforming. The proposed solution for the falling rate of profit was simply education and innovation. Liberals claimed that a more educated population would lead to more innovation than an uneducated population. This means that by the time everyone had a car, a new, better one would be created and everyone would want to upgrade. The last and most controversial of all the solutions was the law of disproportionality. To this day, liberal economists are split between 2 possible solutions to this issue. Keynes argued that the government should stimulate demand by purchasing either infrastructure or military equipment. This would force the private sector to mass hire new workers in order to meet the new demand stimulated by the government. These goods will also never go to waste because more infrastructure and military equipment are always useful. This is the basics of Keynesian economics or demand-side economics. However, Friedman and the monetarists proposed an alternative to Keynesian economics. Friedman proposed that increasing the supply would be more efficient than increasing demand. To do this, Friedman recommended lowering taxes and increasing the supply of capital through low interest rates in order to spur investment to make products cheaper to produce. This would make the cost of living go down and allow more people to enter the middle class. This is supply-side economics. The split between Keynes and Friedman is the fundamental difference between modern liberal economics and conservative economics. They essentially agree in all other economic topics, except for which one of these 2 solutions will lead to the best outcome. And with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and if you have any suggestions for a future video, please leave it in the comments. My Twitter is @benz99, and until next time, thanks for watching.